guys, what's going on? This is David Chen Panda, and you're on another edition of New York Weekly's #1 podcast, Pandanomics for 2020. And today we have one of my very special friends, one of the most amazing guys I've ever met, the one and only Hall of Famer, Rick Barry. Rick, how you doing, sir?
Well, I'm doing good. Hopefully, I'm not going to arrest me here at the airport since I took my mask off and you can see me. So.
No, not a problem. You got to keep it on. Do what you got to do. Rick, thank you so much for this time and some of the amazing things you're doing. I see you're wearing the Big Three thing, but let's talk a little bit first. I always knew who you were, even in Taiwan as a little kid. They always talked about your free throws, right? That was like the thing. That was your global thing that everyone knew who you were. And when I got to meet you and become partners with you, man, it was such an amazing process because you're such a good human being. You're so knowledgeable when it comes to marketing and things that you've done, and some of those amazing things. But, let's talk a little bit first about basketball. How did you get into basketball and how did you learn to do such an amazing free throw?
That was my dad. My dad was a semi-pro player and coach, and I started when my older brother Dennis started when he was 9. I was 4 years younger, so I started when I was 5 years old. So it's been an integral part of my life for decades and decades and decades. So I'm just thrilled to have been a part of that and was taught the fundamentals of the game. So my dad established the base that I could build on, and then obviously I got some of his genes because he was a semi-pro player and coach, as I mentioned, and he was the one that got me to shoot the underhanded free throws, and thank God he was relentless about it. I didn't want to do it, obviously, because the girls shot that way, and so I finally relented and gave it a try, and lo and behold, I became like one of the greatest free throw shooters ever, and I still think I'm the best now because my last 6 years I shot over 92% with the new technique I had. My last 2 years over 94%, which is better than anybody has really done. But there's a lot of great ones out there. Anybody that's shooting 90 or better is an exceptional free throw shooter, and if you're not shooting 80, you should be ashamed of yourself.
That's awesome. I mean, you have an amazing skill set, and I noticed that your son Canyon, he also does the same thing. Canyon, a great gamer, loves League of Legends, great kid himself, but he actually took on the tradition and started shooting underhanded as well. What do you think about his form?
Yeah, no, he's great. He had to make an adjustment because the stupid shorts that they wear now are so much longer. When he did it the way I did it, the ball would hit his shorts when he bent over, so he had to keep it away from his body a little bit. But he's been as high as 90%, so he's an outstanding free throw shooter. In fact, in the G League this year, they had an abbreviated season and all, but he shot 100% for the season. He didn't miss one during the season, and I just wish he'd get a chance to get into the NBA. It's just beyond my comprehension how he hasn't been given the opportunity. Because as a person who knows basketball, not as his father, I know that my son is a better all-around player than a whole bunch of guys that are playing in the NBA, making multi-millions of dollars, and somebody could steal him for a minimum contract.
And why do you think that is? Is that more politics, or they just haven't given them a chance to really do that?
Trust me, I have absolutely no idea. When I talk to coaches, they're thinking it's a father talking, and I try to preface it like I said to you. I'm not talking to you as his father. I'm talking to you as somebody who knows basketball. He would be a great addition to your basketball team because he knows how to play. He's exceptionally smart. He's really talented, and he has no glaring weakness, and he's a 40% three-point shooter.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely a no-brainer in my book. Plus, he's got the height, the skill set, and a great attitude. Real nice young man, and really, really works very hard. And he's doing a lot of big things with the 3-on-3 out there for Team USA. Rick, you've won so many awards, right? You're the NBA MVP of 1975, right? You won the championships. You won multiple championships. Tell me a little bit about how you think your game would fare towards the current players now.
Oh, my game would work anytime because I actually know how to play the game the right way. Too much one-on-one stuff going on now. You can do one-on-one, but you don't have to be doing everything off the dribble. I mean, the thing is, when you're dribbling the ball, if as you start to dribble the ball, your teammate made a back cut because his man turned his head, how are you going to get the ball to him? You don't even have it in your hands. Point guards have to have it because they have to keep the ball alive to bring it to where it needs to be brought. But the other guys on the wing, when they get it, everybody does it off the dribble, it seems. And I think you are less effective when you're doing it that way. And you want to pass, move, cut. That's the best way to play the game. That's why when the Warriors had that 5-year run, they were exceptional because they played the game that way. And that's the way I was taught. And if you're not passing, moving, cutting, you're not forcing the defense to make decisions. And my dad always told me, he says, son, the more decisions you force the defense to make, the more the likelihood they're going to make a mistake. And if you have players who really understand the game, you'll capitalize on those mistakes and you'll get something even better than what you may have diagrammed as far as running a play.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no, I agree with you. I think a lot of the open pass game isn't there anymore, right? the big man game probably just doesn't even exist, and they do a lot more shooting. And
well, here's the thing.
crazy.
Let me interrupt you. I'm watching. I'm really happy. They actually are doing a lot of. They do the passing and doing stuff, but it seems to be it's all passing to look for 3-point shots.
Right.
I mean, the 3-point shot has become such an important part of the game. And if you can't make threes, you're not going to win. Just like in 3x3, they had the Olympic trials. Kenyon, unfortunately, had tweaked his back and had to pull out, and they wound up not qualifying for the Olympics. So he's so incredibly disappointed. They lost in the quarterfinals, but they only made one. And there, it's a 2-point shot. They get one for a basket, 2 for the long shot for the 3-pointer. And he could do that quite well. But he wasn't there to help them. They only got one in that quarterfinal game and lost. And so you're not going to win games on a consistent basis if you're not shooting well from 3-point range. Just look at the box scores afterwards and see the teams that win are generally the teams that are shooting the ball well from 3-point range.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I definitely understand what you're saying. You're one of the few players that, went to the ABA, was an ABA champion and NBA champion. How was that transition for you during that time?
Sucked. The ABA was Bush League, man. It was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. And so I wound up going back to the NBA. Of course, then later they had the merger and took 4 of the teams into the NBA. But yeah, no, it was brutal. I mean, I got stories and stuff about the things that happened, and the owner and the coach of a team getting in a fight at the All-Star game. I mean, it was just insane stuff that went on. But there was a lot of really good players who had an opportunity that they might not have had if it was only the NBA. And so it was good for the game of basketball. But trust me, those early years were something else.
Oh, I bet. I remember hearing the story when we were at Outlet Hall of Famer, and you were telling a story about the shaving beard and of course the buses, and it was so amazing to see that.
No, not buses. When I first played in the NBA in my first years, we rented cars and drove ourselves.
How Seriously. Different the game, huh?
Yeah, and then our per diem was $8. Now they get chartered meals on their charter jets. They get catered meals on charter jets, and they still get $150 a day for per diem.
Life is pretty good on that.
My God, yeah.
You played with some amazing players, right? Will, Oscar Robertson, some of the other guys. Who do you think, in your opinion, guys you played with, was the best all-around player that you've ever got to play against?
Okay, so now I have to jump you, because just like the guys in the talking heads on TV, in team sports, there's no such thing as the GOAT or the best player. You can have a great discussion and you can have a real debate about who's the best at each position, because each position requires different skills. You can't compare Wilt Chamberlain to Michael Jordan to LeBron James or Steph Curry or any other great players. It's by position. You want to have a conversation about by position, then you can have something and you can have your opinion about each position, each player that you like.
Who would your top? I guess who would be the best person in each position that you think?
Wilt Chamberlain is the center. There's never been a player like him. Unbelievable. The power forward, that's something you could probably have a real interesting debate on. You could take a Tim Duncan. You could take a Karl Malone. There's a whole bunch of guys, Bob Pettit back in the old days. But here's my thing. If I was taking a team that I was going to play on and me playing the small forward position, I'm taking Bill Russell, because I don't need Bill Russell to score a point. I just want him to block shots and rebound and get the offense going. Wilt could score 50 a game. He got Michael at the 2. Michael could score a ton. I mean, what do I need to have a 4 to score points? I don't need him to score a point. And then the point guard is probably the hardest one. There's just so many guys that I love. I love Steph Curry. I love Oscar Robertson's unbelievable, Magic Johnson. But because of his versatility and his size, I probably have to go with Magic. And he loved to run, and the Showtime, and so I love to run. So if I had those guys, those would be the ones that I would want to play with. I'd like to play the 3 position myself. If I had to pick a 3, it'd be a difficult choice for me between LeBron and Bird.
I love it. Rick, you're now, I see some big 3 clothing that you're wearing. Obviously, you've been coaching that and doing a great job, phenomenal job there. Tell us a little about the big 3 and, why you like it and how it benefits a lot of our players and what makes it different.
Well, it gives the guys the chance to, to play. Even they're letting some younger guys in now. I mean, it's great if Cube to do that. Ice Cube started it up, of course, and Jeff Quantin, that's his partner. And everybody's thrilled about it. I know I am. I mean, it's a wonderful opportunity to still be around the game. I don't know about the wonderful job I'm doing. My team has sucked the 3 years that I coached them, starting the 4th year. But then again, I'm not taking a whole bunch of responsibility on that, Ashley, because I only get to coach the players that the captain picks. And so I have to coach the players that I have. And, if I had to pick players to do something, I might have made some different choices and picked some other people. But this year we have some new people on our team, and I hope that hopefully it's going to work out. Brian Scalabrine, our captain, has brought some new guys in, some young blood. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll be more competitive this year. The only thing good about it, the last 2 seasons, not last year, of course, when you didn't have a season, but the 2 seasons before, at the end of the season, we got victories and knocked those teams out of the playoffs. So that was a little bit rewarding because I hate losing. You know that.
I do. I mean, I know that you're definitely a true bound winner. You know, what else is interesting is you're very knowledgeable, in my opinion, about esports and gaming, right? And so when I remember my first approach to you, you're probably one of the few people I didn't have to talk about because, Canyon is a avid League of Legends player. What attracted you to esports, and what do you see the correlations of esports and the NBA and other businesses, how big that can get?
Oh, it's enormous. I mean, here's a great story about that. The guys that were playing K2, for the basketball stuff in the league they had, were making more money than the G League players. And so the G League players got to double their salary to have to match what the guys were getting who were playing the game on video games. So that's how powerful it was. It's pretty special. I don't play it because I'm not very good. I'm like Clint Eastwood, and Dirty Harry. A man has to know his limitations. My limitations on that little fine motor skill stuff, I think I'm a hell of an athlete and I can do a lot of things really, really well. Playing video games is not one of them.
I love the self-awareness going from there. You've seen, what we've done in NACL and kind of the growth in the media side of things and dealing with the colleges. For a lot of the young people who are trying to follow their dreams like you have and your son has, and some of the amazing things that you've done for some of your kids, what advice would you give them to continue their dreams and what they're trying to do?
Well, first of all, learn the fundamentals of whatever it is you want, whatever your endeavor happens to be, whether it's in sales, whether it's in music, whether it's in science. Just learn everything you can about that particular profession so that you form that base to build on. That's what happened to me. My dad gave me that base to build on. And you can't maximize your full potential if you don't have a really big base, because building a skyscraper can only go so high and then it's going to topple over if the base isn't sufficient. So that's the critical element. Hey, even if you're going to do it with playing esport, practice, get out there, work at it, do it. Get to be as good as you can be. Never be satisfied with the achievements that you make or as good as you get. You can always get better. Look at me. I got better. I would have got better as a player. Physically, I could have done it. But in free throws, I was better at the end of my career than I was at the beginning of my career. So don't ever be satisfied with what you're doing, but put the time and the effort in, have goals, but always have a backup plan, because trying to get to be one of the guys making millions of dollars playing esports is a pretty slim chance that that's going to happen for you. So you have to be prepared to do something else with your life. Just like in sports, you may not be good enough to get it and make it to the NBA. So have something as a backup plan.
I love that. One thing that people don't know about you is you're a genius in marketing. You majored in marketing. We've talked about some marketing pieces together. Tell me a little bit about your background in marketing and some of the companies that you think are doing it right when it comes to the marketing aspect of things.
Well, the bottom line is there's a lot of companies I've been involved with and seen that I just don't know how they even got to be successful, because they don't think outside of the box and they're satisfied with what they're doing instead of always looking for new and better ways to do what it is that you're doing to increase your sales. And so you just have to be innovative, and you have to look at new techniques and things that come along. And, so that's it. The key to success is marketing. I don't care what kind of product you have. People, I'll give you 2 words. I tell people this is marketing wrapped up in one thing. 2 words: pet rock. People made millions of dollars selling freaking rocks. Now tell me, what should you be able to do if you have a great product? It has to be marketed properly. The NBA was always a great product, never marketed properly. In '75, our championship year, our games were on delayed television. Look what's happened since they started, when David Stern came in and they started to market it. It's become a multi-billion-dollar worldwide phenomenon. Because of what? Because of the marketing. And that's why, you're doing a great job getting out there trying to market what you're doing, with the collegiate league and what have you. And you have to continue to do that. And if you don't do that, you're going to fall behind and somebody else is going to come by and bury you.
No, absolutely. That's one thing I've enjoyed. We talked about the marketing and you gave me some expert advice, what you've seen in the 70s and 80s and 90s, and how Nike became a big brand, how some other brands lost that opportunity because they didn't focus on marketing. We always took that to heart because we follow the global initiative, like you mentioned, Dave, and some of those other things. So that's why you're so wise in things that you have. And you always bring in amazing people because you foresee the correlations of things that we can do. And so that's what I want to thank you about. You've always understood that, and it's made a pretty big impact in our company, things that we've done there. As you're seeing this and you're seeing people involved, you're also a avid and amazing pickleball player. Tell us a little bit how you did that and what you're doing in
Well, my wife got me involved in that. Like anything else, when you try to do it, I got out there and tried to learn how to do it. I'm a pretty quick study and all, and I've actually won a couple of I won a couple of U.S. Open gold medals. I've won a lot of gold medals and silver medals, and I actually played down. I can't find really enough competition at my age, so I have to play down. I actually won a tournament time playing with somebody and playing in the 50s. And then in the 60s as well. And so it's just a lot of fun. In fact, I'm going to have to get off this call right away now because I'm actually going on a call because we're starting up something called Pickleball Connections that people will be able to go online shortly to check it out. We're going to bring the pickleball world all together. It's very exciting marketing stuff like we talked about. And I have to get on a conference call with my partners on that, right now, actually. So I always enjoy spending the time with you. I'm looking forward to the big promotion we're doing with Flix TV and with Drew and all. And that's a big thing, giving away $1 million and something car on a 50 city tour that's going to be starting. So I know you'll tell your friends and everybody about that coming up.
Absolutely, Rick. Thank you for all your time. Appreciate everything else. I will give you a call soon. For David Chen and Rick Barry, we appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Good night.
See you.
Check it out.